Welcome to Discourse, that's Abel.
This is Tony.
And today we're reviewing Taken by the T-Rex by Christy Sims. Okay, so Taken by the T-Rex was recommended by one of your friends, right? Mm-hmm. We were doing this channel, we always are on the lookout for interesting books, different kinds of books that we've never read before, and somebody had recommended Dinosaur Erotica.
Yeah.
When we looked up Dinosaur Erotica, the first book that came up was Taken by the T-Rex by Christy Sims, which is the most popular dinosaur erotica out there.
Yeah, there is such a thing, or monster erotica. We didn't even know
that
was out there.
It's a branch of like monster erotica. Yeah. So, oh my god, this book blows my mind. Like, okay, so let's first start with what this book is even about. And it's hardly a book. It's 20 pages. It's a short story. Yeah. So it is, I'm guessing, prehistoric times. There's a bunch of cave people living together, and then they get attacked by a T-Rex. They all get eaten. They decide to either kill it or run away. They decide to run away. Right. And then it attacks them a second time. And the main huntress, Drin, leads the T-Rex into the forest.
Away from the village.
Away from the village, so her villagers have time to get away. And as she's running away from the T-Rex, she is getting very turned on and is finally captured by the T-Rex, and the T-Rex has his way with her.
Yes.
You are brought up. You do not need to read this book.
Yeah, she goes back to the village, and that's it.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So it's like 20 pages. It's not very long. It was very surprising in a way. I've never read erotica, so I don't really know what to compare this to. It was kind of, it made me feel icky when I was reading it. Because it is very graphic. Like, if this was like a porn, I guess you would call it, it would be very graphic. And it is only well defined in my head because I have a good imagination, whereas I'm pretty sure if this was turned into like one of those horrible porns,
that's not possible.
It would be very low budget. It would be some dude in a dinosaur costume, or probably just painted green,
right? And
some lady in a horrible like cave woman outfit. You know, I was reading this. It's 20 pages. I was reading this on my phone, and while I was reading it, my 2-year-old stumbles into the room, and she's like, "What are you reading?" And I was like, "Oh God, nothing! Go away! You can't see
this." Even those little pictures.
I was so embarrassed and ashamed that I was reading this. My 2-year-old was like, "No, you can't read it. Go away."
Oh, yeah. Dinosaur story. You know?
Dinosaur erotica. So
yeah,
I'm guessing somebody had watched Jurassic Park and got very turned on and needed to write this story.
Or they wanted to make what are those videos where they take like movies or characters in books or whatever and they turn them into like a porno?
It's like fan fiction?
No.
XXX fan fiction or something like that? Starring the dinosaur from Jurassic Park?
Something like that. So,
you know who this is for? This book is for whoever liked that movie, The Shape of Water, where it was like a fish man in the water and the woman was like in love with him.
It was all romantic and all this, whatever.
It was like a twisted version of like Aquaman. And I was like, but he's a fish! What are you talking about? I think that is the closest to this, what did you call it, monster erotica?
Yeah.
Dino erotica coming to the silver screen, right? Like that's like the best example.
The creature from the Black Lagoon. He kept attacking just that one beautiful girl. I don't know what he wanted, but
yeah, I guess so.
Some people
assumed
he wanted something. You know?
What's that old crappy movie with Denise Richards and Paul Walker, Tammy and the T-Rex? Where that one has more motivation why they're connected, right? So Denise Richards is Tammy, and her boyfriend, Paul Walker, gets killed and his mind gets transferred to a T-Rex. Mm-hmm. And throughout the story, they're trying to, I think, get away or something, like escape. And they have this emotional connection. It's between a young girl and a T-Rex. It's terrible, but it makes more sense than this god-awful story.
Yeah, but I don't know what people expected. Hearing monster erotica or dinosaur erotica, they thought it was going to be like a love story between dinosaur and girl, where they build up their relationship. This was nothing like that at all.
They were going to have consensual relations.
And then she's going to take it back to the villagers and they're going to make a vote on accepting them or not. That's one of the tribes.
You would have to, they're going to get married and they're like, you must accept my marriage. It's not that. The dinosaur has his way with her.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so I'm not going to get too graphic, but if you have a dog and your dog gets a little friendly with his toy. That's kind of what happens here.
Yes, because as you mentioned, she's running away, and she think that mentions that she did have sex before with a man, but she wasn't excited or aroused, so she just stopped doing it. You know, it wasn't for her. She didn't enjoy it. What she enjoyed was being a hunter, and somehow she got turned on from
so
the hunt, you know, the adrenaline, the danger, all that.
The thrill of the hunt excites her. And
so the dinosaur was hunting her this time, but she laid traps, she did all this stuff, but I guess as the dinosaur was getting hurt and she was running away, she kept getting more turned on.
filth.
So the book,
It's just filth.
as mentioned, is graphic. So the dinosaur corners her and he starts sniffing her. And at this point, she even says she's aroused. And the dinosaur just picks her up. And
has his way with her.
you could probably imagine, I'm not gonna.
Yes, we'll
make it
leave
too
this to
graphic.
your imagination.
But she looks down and she's kind of curious, like, what is that? It's like this 2 foot. And then when it pops into her head, she's like, no, he's gonna split me open. I'd rather I'd rather die. But
I would rather die than finish the story. Because there were so many moments where I was reading it, and I just had to stop and like, oh my god, what is this?
But they both enjoy it.
Yeah, it surprisingly becomes consensual.
She figures it out, where they both enjoy it. It's consensual. But it's kind of funny.
It is funny. It's hilarious. This is not a romantic story. It's a comedy.
Yeah. I don't want to give away the ending, but the ending is kind of
don't
funny
ruin
too.
this book.
The ending is funny. But that was the only erotic type of stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, the beginning of the story is like it's a fantasy story, right?
Just cave people.
Prehistoric
village.
people fighting an animal. Like it was fine.
Yeah.
And then right at the end, it gets triple X erotica.
Yeah.
And
For like.
And
the
you
last
know what's
page or
interesting
two.
is in the middle of this very short story, it becomes kind of like a Predator type situation with like the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, where she's setting up traps for the T-Rex and she's fighting back. And it's kind of cool. You know, and the writing itself was interesting. I think the writers, it's a writing pair, and you can tell that they have experience writing.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, my friend said it was like college students. It was a project that they did. And I thought it was well written. It was pretty good.
For what it was well written.
For what it was,
smart.
in the 20 pages, a lot happened. So,
yeah, they built up the character. You understand who Drin was. You understand her motivation, whatever there is. But you don't understand the motivation of the T-Rex. How you could, I don't know. But why that situation happened from his perspective, I have no idea. Neither do I care to know.
From killing villagers and ripping apart bodies to that.
So she has like 130 reviews on her book. Her book's 20 pages. It's like $2.99 on Amazon Kindle.
Yeah.
And something like 10% of people post reviews. So I'm guessing she sold thousands of these books. So she is making a killing writing Dinosaur
Who would
Erotica.
be curious about?
And I think that's who it's
taken by the
mostly
T-Rex.
for. Yeah,
Taken how? Taken where? You know? It's like, how's that possible with these little arms? You know?
What is he? He's holding her up here. And he just. So I think a lot of people that buy it are just curious.
As we were curious, what is this dinosaur monster erotica? We never heard of it.
So when I looked up, thank God it was 20 pages because I can't imagine getting more than 20 pages into a story where it's Dinosaur Erotica.
I do. I want to find out what happened after.
I know.
Like, does he come back looking for her?
So
Like, hey, want to hang out?
So it changes her, right?
You know?
It changes her perspective on life and the world. Does it change his perspective? Because they also mention that he's a young dinosaur in the story, right? He's a teen dinosaur. Because
shedding his feathers or whatever.
shedding his feathers. So she's a young, ripped, hot woman, and he's a young, ripped, hot dinosaur, and they're just going at it. So does he go back to his tribe and it's like he conquered
Guess what
somebody?
happened?
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah, because she went back to her tribe and continued as nothing happened.
Yeah, she's like, oh yeah, that some dude got killed, and I escaped, and don't pay attention to any of this white goo that's on me. So let me read you a couple of reviews. Let me get your opinion on that. So this one from Josh N. For the money, this book was a good buy. Unfortunately, only a few pages of this book are hilariously sexually explicit. Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
I gave it 3 stars.
Yeah. See, he was expecting like a full-on porn novel or something.
Yeah, right from the beginning. God, calm down, Josh, man.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Pick up a Playboy or something. Jeez.
You've got many other outlets. Yeah. But no, that's not true. He doesn't have very many outlets for Dino Erotica, right? There's very few options out there.
Like this is where they are into that.
So the next one from Peaches. This is an extremely boring book until you get to the erotic part, which is the funniest thing I've ever heard. My friend skipped most of it until the end.
They just went straight to the end?
You know, yeah, I had my wife read it too. She was like, I am not reading that garbage. And I was like, no, you're going to want to read this. So I skipped to just the interesting bits at the end, and I just summarized it for her. I was like, cave woman is defending her tribe by chasing a T-Rex into the forest. And then this happens, and I give her the book, and she reads like the last page, and that's the gist of it. So if you're interested, just read the last 2 pages. It's strangely, I guess it's all strange, but it's super erotic in random punctuated moments. If you don't normally read Dino Erotica, I would say give it a try just for the entertainment aspect. But if you are sensitive, do not read it.
Yeah, don't read it. It's only 20 pages. It takes like 10 minutes. I don't know.
It's funny how many of the reviews say there's either not enough Dino Erotica or the Dino Erotica is only at the end.
It's like they wanted it to be like a dinosaur tribe and a human tribe, and they have relations with each other already.
Yeah, I guess. It's what's that dinosaur show on TV in the 90s? There were like dinosaurs were talking.
I think just dinosaurs.
It was called Dino something.
The one with the baby, right?
Yeah.
So it's not the mama.
Yeah. So I'm guessing they saw this
like that,
and they had imagined what was going on in the bedroom. And there's also another movie with Whoopi Goldberg where she is a detective in the future, and dinosaurs have either come back to life or always existed, and they're super smart.
Yeah.
You don't remember that?
No.
So I went to Google and I typed in Dino and Whoopi. That's all I needed, and Google was like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Theodore Rex. It came out in 1995. So after you read this book, you will go back and watch those movies and never see them the same again.
Oh, man. Or Barney. Oh, man. Don't invite Barney to your kid's birthday party.
I've got to say,
the same.
I never had considered this before. Like, this has opened up a whole new window in my mind. Like, it never even popped in my head to look at this thing and be like, that's a pretty hot dinosaur.
All the tank stations are ready.